Hi, Besties. My name is Tricia Heals. I'm a psychic medium, and you're listening to your Psychic Bestie Hotline. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to film this podcast episode. If this is your first time here, welcome to your Psychic Bestie Hotline. My dream in making this podcast was to have a place where someone can come if they're feeling alone. Maybe you're really just looking for a sign from the universe or a sign from your angels. And this is a place where you landed to get those answers. When I was on my journey of becoming a psychic medium, and way before I even knew I could do any of this, I remember wishing that I would have a psychic on speed dial where if I had a question, I could just have someone tune in for me. So this is my goal, that you feel like you have a one-on-one psychic bestie. Whenever you're looking for an answer, you have all the answers within, but sometimes it's nice to just be driving in your car. Maybe you feel like you're on autopilot going from one place to the next, but then if you put this podcast on, my goal is you will hear a message that was meant to go through your ears. I'm also very inclusive, so I say that lightly because I have transcripts available. So if you use sign language and maybe you're deaf or hard of hearing, just know that however you get these messages, if it's through captions or maybe you see one of my videos and I'm using sign language, the universe sent you to that message for a reason. Going into filming this episode, I had a whole outline and I planned episode number 4, but I pulled some cards and now I see the podcast episode going a totally different direction. So let's just go with the flow. And I really believe that that's just a message all in itself, that it's okay to change the plan. And even right now, I'm hearing a train go by, and what I'm getting as a download is everything is always moving. We're never staying in one place. The people on the train started somewhere and they're ending somewhere else. I'm also thinking about time travel and how when we fly to other countries or time zones, we time travel. Like you can live the same time twice and it will look different. Another really cool message that I feel like sharing is that we are never sitting still. So even if you're in a deep meditation, the earth is still spinning. So just know that we are always moving, even if we try to be still. The card in front of me actually says turning a page, angel number 901, and turning, moving. We're always moving and giving our energy to all different things that we're doing. On the card, it says, now is your time to begin. So as you're driving, or maybe you're walking, however you are right now while listening to this podcast episode, I want you to think, what is my next step to achieve my goal? Your angels want you to picture a door that's right in front of you. So if you can close your eyes, look at your third eye right in between your eyebrows. But if you're driving, of course, you can't close your eyes, so just be careful. As you're picturing this doorway in front of you, what your angels want you to know is that it is as easy as just turning the doorknob to seeing what's next behind the door. But of course, you have to take the step to get to the door. So, right now, in your mind's eye, I want you to just picture your dream life behind that door that you're standing in front of. There's a wall, you can't see through the wall, but you can predict what's on the other side of the door. So, put your hands on your heart if you can, rub circles on your chest, and just give light and love to your heart space. As you're doing this, picture your dream life. What is on the other side of the door for you? What your angels are showing right now is that there could be many doors. So you have so many life paths and opportunities that you can go for. So say that something happens and it changes your life journey. There's another door waiting for you and another dream life behind that door. I'm sure that we all have many, many, many stories where something happened and in the moment we were so disappointed, but in the long run, looking back, you are so grateful for that thing happening to you. And the best example I have from my own life is when I was waitlisted for my dream college. Ever since I was in high school, my dream was to go to RIT and become a sign language interpreter. I'll definitely make a whole podcast episode about this closer to commitment day. But long story short, I ended up going to a community college right next to RIT in Rochester, New York, and they had dorms there. I was able to move away from home, be surrounded by the largest deaf community, but also I was able to study abroad in Italy the summer after my first year of college. I went with the community college to study abroad that summer. I think that's the most perfect example of this, that I pictured my dream life being that door, opening the door and going right to RIT after high school. But I didn't know that if I didn't get waitlisted and then not go the first year, that I would have missed out on so many opportunities from my community college. I wouldn't have gone to Italy to study abroad that summer. I was meant to meet all the people that I met at the community college and then travel with some of those people, meet other people in Italy, live in Italy all by myself at 18 years old. And if I got accepted and opened the door, per se, right to my dream, I would have missed out on such a beautiful chapter of my life. If you're listening to this and you feel like something in your life is making you feel disappointed, just know that one day you will be able to see why that had to happen. And I hear you, I see you. I love when we get to talk one on one and I can actually feel your energy and connect with your angels, because I see that challenges come up all the time. But again, that's why we're here. I say it in every episode. Our soul came here for school. And sometimes people don't like learning, they don't like school. So if that's you, you're not alone. Life lessons can be challenging, and you're getting through it. It sounds so cheesy, but I feel like saying give yourself a pat on the back. But the Tricia Heals in me wants to say give yourself a big hug and just feel your love, because at the end of the day, you are the only person that has experienced everything that your soul has experienced. Right now, I hope you can just congratulate yourself that you are making it through all of these obstacles life throws at you, and just know that you are coming out a better person because of it. The next three cards that just flew out of the deck landed all in reverse, and to me that means that you might just need a little extra love on these three different topics. The first one says passion, connect, and this actually goes really well with that, and that's spiritual downloads. The previous episodes I have talk all about passion and following your dreams, so definitely tune into those episodes if you're looking for more help on your passion or even finding a passion that you like. What your angels want me to tell you is to follow what makes you happy every single day. One really cool thing I just found on my desk is this book that I've had all throughout college. Now I'm a few years out of college, and I always come back to this book at different parts of my life and throughout the year. But it's a daily check-in book, and every day there's a prompt. So on each day, every year, you can go back and read your responses, kind of like on Facebook, how you can go back and see your memories for the day. That's exactly what it is, but with these really fun questions. So my goal is to fill this book out starting today, every single day. And I put it right next to my bed on my nightside table. I'm really excited to connect and journal more. I can look forward to doing this every single day, and it's something so simple that you could check off your list. For the next card that I have, spiritual downloads, it's saying that you have to prepare for new knowledge. And one really, really cool thing that happened to me when I was unlocking my psychic abilities and developing them was that I started to love reading, which I just mentioned a book and now I'm talking about reading. But growing up, I hated reading with a passion. And that's actually the card I just read before, passion. My mom always said reading is so magical and you can make friends with the characters. You can learn about their life and read all of their stories. And I never liked reading at all. While I was in my course to become a psychic medium, my mentor and teacher, Riley, mentioned that I started liking reading probably because I started getting all these spiritual downloads from the books. I went to her knowing that there was some reason why I randomly started picking up books. I loved reading the stories and I was so excited. Her explanation was so cool because what she said was usually when we connect with someone one on one and have a session, or even on my TikTok live when I'm giving readings out for free and meeting all of you, usually the angels that know I have something in common with the person will easily connect with me. For example, I get a lot of grandmas that visit their loved ones, or a lot of people that lost their dads, just things I can connect with because that's the easiest way for me to channel is knowing all of the information already. And then they show me things that I know, and then those messages make sense for you. So, what my mentor Riley shared is that by reading these books, I'm getting new spiritual downloads, and all this new information was downloading into me. And when she said that, it clicked. For example, one of the books that I started reading this summer had a death in the book, and I never could have related to that death. But by reading it and feeling so sad for that character, I read the description of what happened to him, and I realized that what Riley meant is that if an angel came to me and had that same exact experience, I did live through that, but through the book. So even though I didn't have a family member that passed away the same way as the character, now in my soul, I know how to connect that death experience and be able to relate it to the person coming forward. And that actually happened. One of my first clients, I was able to channel her dad, and I experienced exactly what I read in the book. And her dad was able to show me that because I knew the experience. Wow, there are just so many common trends going throughout this episode, but just know that your angels, they're like ringing the phone right now in my ear, and to me, they're saying that they're ready for you to hear the messages. I'm also acknowledging that sometimes people don't want to be able to hear things or get these spiritual downloads. So that's where a psychic medium like me comes in. I would love to meet with you one on one if you are craving a date with your angel, especially towards the end of the year, where if you're listening to this in the beginning of the year, it's such a time for a reset and just to figure out things going on in your life. Maybe there's a connection you're having that isn't sitting well with you, or maybe you're just looking for the steps to get on the right life path. And just know that with your free will, every day you can make a change that will impact your life. So if you're open to it, you can have a session with me. Everything is always in the show notes, and you can find me on all social media platforms. But also, your angels want you to hear that you can do what I do. You can channel messages for yourself. One of the best tips I always give is to get a pen and paper, just sit in a quiet place, or maybe sit in nature, somewhere where you feel safe. You can close your eyes or maybe look around the room. Call your spirit team if that's your guides, or maybe you have a specific angel. Just know that when you call your spirit team, they all step forward and they're ready to give you the messages. Maybe while you're sitting outside, you'll start talking to them. You can talk out loud or in your head, and maybe a bird that you asked for will fly by, or maybe you'll see an owl. Something will catch your eye, and you will believe that this is so true because there's no way that that could happen at the same moment that you were asking for it. Also, go into this experiment not asking for anything except any information you need to know. You can ask very specific questions, but also have an open mind because the downloads, and that means a message that you're getting from spirit or from the universe or just the higher version of yourself, is wisdom, and it is truly life changing. So just be open. You can put your palms up like you're opening up to whatever is being downloaded. My advice is always to protect yourself. Picture a white light, and you can even picture when you're in the shower how the water just hits your head and falls all down your body from your head to the floor. Underneath your feet, it's going into the earth. Just like that, picture this white magical light washing all over you. Another beautiful meditation I do is putting myself in a bubble. So while your eyes are closed, picture a bubble going around your whole body, taking up the space that's around you. Ask your angels to come and vacuum out what doesn't serve you. You can put anything in this bubble, anything that makes you happy, if it's a flower, or maybe it's you floating in water. Just be creative, experiment with it. But always use this tool as a way to protect yourself and your energy because we are all energy and it's very important that we protect ourselves, especially towards the end of the year. Everyone is just reflecting and maybe seeing that other people might be a few steps ahead of them. It's important that we're always just focusing on our own energy and making sure that we shine bright so that the people around us can also get some of our light. Light always shines and is stronger than the darkness. So just know that all the work you put in to shine will come across and you'll be making the world a better place. Right now, they're showing me a beautiful image of a ripple effect on the water. So if you have the white light that's shining, just know it will shine just like the sunset shines on the water. It is so beautiful, and that is what your energy is. So beautiful and sacred. Also, on my screen, I see 444, and this is the fourth episode. So that is not a coincidence. I'm so happy that you're tuning into episode 4. The next card that I have actually is number 144. We cannot make that up. It says communicate with the divine, and that is exactly what I just said. You would think I just read that card. The message coming through on this card is to trust your angels, open up your heart, and let the downloads start coming into your body. Because once you're living this spiritual woo woo life, you will feel so happy that you are in this place where you can feel safe, you feel grounded, and learn how to make decisions where you feel confident and proud of what you're doing. To end this episode, I wanted to share such a special story that was on my journey of becoming a professional psychic medium. And when I was learning and taking my course with my mentor, she mentioned that our spirit team won't put the psychic or the developing psychic in any harm's way while giving messages. I always get asked, and even this week, someone was asking, do I walk around and I just see spirits? And do I get messages all the time and tune into people and their loved ones? And the answer is no. I can turn it on and off. And out of respect for other people, I don't walk around channeling them and knowing all their secrets and getting all their messages. I don't do that at all. But as a psychic, I follow spirit when I know that it's meant to be. So this is a perfect example. Before I go to bed, I always protect my space. I do the same ritual that I told you with the bubble around me, and that's a way that I can protect any spirits that might come into my space that I don't approve of. Because when you're sleeping, you're not able to be so protective of your space. So that's why I set the intention before I go to bed. But what happened when I was developing my gifts and abilities, it was around the same time that I loved reading my book, which I have another synchronicity. In my book, it said Calgary, and I was on the plane going to Calgary, but I just jumped ahead a little bit. So I woke up in New York. I'm from Long Island. And the morning that I was traveling to Canada, I woke up and I told my boyfriend right away. I connected with a spirit in my sleep, and I could remember, I felt like I had a whole reading with this spirit that came to me. His name is Wyatt, and he was someone around my age, and he was giving me all these messages, and I had no idea why that happened to me. Fast forward, my sister and I traveled from New York City all the way up to Toronto, and I was sitting on the airplane, and the first airplane we took, the flight attendant was running down the aisle, and it caught my attention that he was saying something and I couldn't understand what he was saying, which I later realized when he came back the other way towards the front of the plane, he was holding headphones and he was saying repetitively, headphones, 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 but he was going so fast that it caught my attention. I didn't know what he was saying, and I could feel the wind of him running down the aisle hit my face and my body, and it caught my attention. So then the next flight that we got on, the same thing happened, except it was a woman, and she walked very slow, and she was very sweet, and that really caught my eye because I had in the back of my head that the first guy ran down the aisle and he was very chaotic, screaming about headphones, but I didn't understand. So I turned my head to look at this woman because I just felt so much love towards her, which later I realized that was Wyatt, who came to me in my sleep, his grandma was the flight attendant. And when I'm channeling, I can feel the love and I just feel how the person on the other side feels about you, the person sitting and getting the reading. So that's why the energy I felt from her every time she would walk past, I would look up knowing that she was coming down the aisle. I didn't even have to think about it. Every time she came near me and my sister, I felt a loving grandma energy, which I'll fast forward a little bit. I didn't feel that same energy after I gave her a reading. So I think that's so cool that I truly see you how your loved one sees you. And when they love you so much, I just see you shining and I can feel their love for you. So, anyway, she was walking down the aisle so calmly and she caught my eye. I put my book down and as she approached my aisle, she reached over towards my sister with a basket of headphones, and I spotted on her wrist right away a tattoo in script. And my eyes, I can remember moving in slow motion across her wrist, and I saw Wyatt, and I thought, oh my God, that's Wyatt. And I'm getting chills right now. I know he's in the room with me as I say this story. As the story goes on, my sister later said to me she saw me staring at her, and my sister thought in her head, why don't you just grab the headphones? Like, she didn't know why I was staring at her wrist, but now she knows why. So, what happened was she walked away, and I was in the aisle seat. We had an empty seat in between us, and then my sister was at the window. And at first, the plane was not moving. We were all just sitting there, and the time kept going by. I leaned over and I whispered to my sister that this isn't coming from me. I'm not manifesting this, but I said, we are not taking off in this plane. And then she said, don't say that because we had a strict itinerary. We had to land at a certain time, check into the hotel, get enough sleep because we had so many hikes and just adventures planned that we could not leave anytime later than what was scheduled on her spreadsheet. So, anyway, I was sitting in the seat, and that's when I connected with Wyatt. You heard in episode 1 that my mom and I took this class together to learn how to become psychic mediums. I was texting her how excited I was that I put together the pieces. I now landed in Toronto. I moved to another plane. This grandson was connecting with his flight attendant grandma in Toronto. So my mom and I were texting. I put the phone to show my sister what we were saying. My family wasn't seeing what my mom and I were going through. They didn't know that I was experiencing real readings and I could channel messages like this. So this was eye-opening for my sister, and it really helped me understand that people that know me might think this is crazy that she just became a psychic medium, but they're not knowing all the stories and hearing all the sessions that I have. Because if you sit in on one TikTok live and hear the readings I give, you can become a believer. The things I tell these strangers that I've never met that just stumble upon my live are things that I would never know from just sitting on TikTok. And the angels that step forward always give such beautiful messages. Back to the story. I was telling Wyatt when I was connecting with him that I can't talk to his grandma yet. I knew that that wouldn't be the right time to stand up and talk to her. We were waiting to take off on the plane. And he kept saying, you will, you're about to talk to her. And I said, Wyatt, I promise when the plane lands, I will tell your grandma the messages when I'm about to get off the plane. So he was pretty much laughing because what happened was they got on the loudspeaker probably after an hour of just sitting there and they said, we have to deplane. And that has never happened to me before, ever. But I really truly believe that Wyatt wanted his grandma to hear that message right away. So he was laughing in my ear, saying, now you have to talk to my grandma. And at this point, I felt very nervous because it was the first time I approached someone in public and had a message for them, which being from Long Island, and even if you're not from here, you know the Long Island medium, it felt just like I was on TV. It would have been perfect TV because this experience was so magical, so special and sacred. I stepped into the aisle, and as everyone was walking, I approached the grandma. I started talking to her, and we moved into the seats that were towards where she was standing. So the whole plane was deplaning. My sister was in a few rows behind me, kind of like we were pulled over on the side of the road. And she was so excited to hear the messages from her grandson. Everything just clicked. She started to tear up. She asked if she could give me a hug. And in that moment, I knew it was the right thing to listen to Wyatt. He was so adamant that I would tell his grandma the messages. Just like my mentor said, Spirit would never put me in a situation that would be uncomfortable because that was all divine. She was meant to hear from him. Also, I was meant to have that experience and be able to get that confidence. Then, on top of that, my sister was able to see that this was real because when we got off the plane, I saw her texting my niece and she said, maybe this is all real. So just know that if you are going through your psychic gifts and abilities where you're experiencing things, you're seeing signs from your loved ones, maybe you're seeing their birthday on license plates. If you're excited to tell someone and they don't believe you right away, it's okay. Keep your light bright and you have to keep shining because eventually people in your life will start seeing what you're experiencing. And just know they're not always seeing all the magic because you have so many things happening to you every day. And they will see the magic eventually. So just keep being you, keep shining, and embrace this journey that you're on, this beautiful spiritual journey. Again, we're here for school. Our soul is here to learn. And I'm so happy that you're here and you can hear my stories, and then hopefully we can connect and you can share some of yours. So, back to the story, we got off the plane. I loved meeting his grandma, and then a few hours later, we finally could get back onto the new plane, and she was the same flight attendant. All the other flight attendants were new, and that was the only flight attendant that stayed on our flight. And what I was saying before, how when I saw her, I felt so much love like a grandma. What was interesting was when I sat back down in my new seat, and it was funny because I was surrounded by the same people. It was just a few hours later. It felt like deja vu because we were reliving what we did. We all got back on the plane, we put everything in the overhead and heard all of the same announcements. But every time she walked by, I noticed my eyes wouldn't go up to her. I was detached in a way because I wasn't seeing her through her grandson's eyes. So that is a cool little secret that maybe you didn't know before hearing from a psychic medium. They truly see and feel the love that your loved one is feeling. So their soul loves you so much. If you are missing your loved one, especially around the holidays or a special event throughout the year, whenever you're hearing this, the message is that your loved ones are sending you so much love, protection, and light. They're always the one looking out for you. If you are driving and you make a turn that you wouldn't have made and you think, why did I do that? It was meant for a reason. So, going into this week, when you're hearing this episode, I hope that you start to connect with your spiritual gifts or even experiment a little. You don't have to become a psychic medium overnight. You don't have to channel the flight attendant's grandson. But just know you can connect with your loved ones always, and they're ready for you to connect. They are showing me the phone again, and you just have to plug it in. You have to turn on the signal, you have to get the data or connect the Wi-Fi. It's super easy. And they're just a phone call away. And the phone call is you opening up, just protecting yourself with love and light and being ready for this journey. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope you have the best week ever. If you are on a psychic gifts and abilities journey of developing, or maybe you're an energy healer, I have the best group for you. It's called the Psychic Besties Circle. We meet every other week. If you're ever interested, you can reach out to me, DM me. I would love to have you join us, and it is such a magical group, such a special group of people that are also on this journey. If you're interested in a one-on-one session, you can click the link below. It's super easy to book. I don't even need your information, just a first name and your email. I will connect with your angels before you even join the call. If you have any questions, this is the perfect opportunity for you. I'm so excited to connect, and thank you for being here. I'll see you every Tuesday. My name is Tricia Heals, and you're listening to your Psychic Bestie Hotline. Bye, besties!